Well, regardless of how you feel about Elon Musk, he just destroyed the woke video game agenda with this single post. And he's right. Wokeness has invaded our video games, and the woke industrial complex is doing everything it can to try to poison one of my favorite hobbies, which is kicking back and playing some Unicorn Overlord or Final Fantasy. Keep your politics and agenda off of my Xenoblade, if you know what I mean. So we'll get to the Elon quote here in just a moment, and we'll show you these two big news stories that just broke this week. But first, normally on this channel, I talk about retro video games that I love and JRPGs, Xenoblade, the Ys series, Metroid, Zelda, and much more, and just hanging out, talking about what this hobby means to me and why I love it. That's what this channel is all about. So if you like that sort of thing, please subscribe to the channel. But my day job, I am a journalist. And on my main channel, I like to tear down propaganda like this all day long. So when this all started happening this week, I felt compelled to talk about it here on this channel. So let's get into it. So Elon Musk just posted this on X. Video games need to get rid of the woke BS. Getting lectured with tedious propaganda is not why people play games. Video games are way too woke. It kills the vibe. I just did a whole separate video on how much Elon Musk loves playing video games and how it's his favorite recreation and it helps him calm down, how it helps the mind get into a flow state. It's one of the reasons I love video games. But he's exactly right. This is exactly what's happening. The woke agenda is taking over. I don't need video games to make me use cringy pronouns when I sign into a game for the first time. Starfield, I'm looking at you. Even my 13-year-old son can't stand this propaganda. He knows what they're trying to do to him. Of course, Musk is talking about this bombshell story that's unfolded over the past few days, where we learned about a Canadian-based company called Sweet Baby Incorporated, Sweet Baby Inc. Oh, Canada, a country that leads the world in trying to kill people with medically assisted suicides. That's a fact. And is moving full steam ahead with their online harms bill, which censors journalists and websites that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau doesn't like.
Thank you for the trust you have given me.
But I digress. So Sweet Baby Inc. has a mission, which is to write narratives or stories that bring inclusivity to video games. And as they say right there on their website, we aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. For everyone, really? Really? So they consult video game companies on how to be more woke. In other words, they'll come in and they'll help you include a black person in your Norwegian Vikings historical video game. Even though Vikings never laid eyes on a person of color, who cares? It's diversity. Or they'll help you add a transgender character in your town, perhaps a transgender blacksmith that helps you upgrade your swords. You'll think Flint the blacksmith is a man, but really, she is just dressed that way. Or why not a morbidly obese superhero to your game? Because let's normalize unhealthy eating habits and show your kids that even with a 12-inch layer of visceral fat, you too can save the earth. Now, the reason we even know about Sweet Baby Inc. is thanks to a Steam group that tracks games that Sweet Baby Inc. has helped to write. The group, called Sweet Baby Detected, posts the names of games that you might want to avoid because they've likely been filled with woke propaganda. Or taken the other way, maybe you really do want to play games that push an agenda on you. And maybe you want to indoctrinate your children, so this would be a great group for you to learn about how to indoctrinate your children. Either way, it's a list of games that are also published right on Sweet Baby Inc.'s website. So it's not like this Steam group even had to do anything nefarious to find it. It's on your own website. Well, the liberal media, of course, freaked out and rushed to the defense of this company. Even the Biden administration is now using your tax dollars to defend Sweet Baby Inc. Yes, we'll get to that part in a second. You can't even make this up. It's unbelievable. One of the worst video game publications is a website called Kotaku. Now, most people in the video game world can't stand them. They are a left-wing publication owned by the very same group that owns Deadspin. And Deadspin this week had to lay off their entire staff after they wrote an article saying that this Kansas City Chiefs fan was a racist for wearing war paint to a football game. And when the family of the boy requested that Deadspin remove the photo and correct their publication, saying my son is not a racist, they refused, and now they're facing a massive multi-million-dollar defamation lawsuit, and they had to close their doors. Rest in peace, Deadspin. We will not miss you. Well, Kotaku rushed right in to defend Sweet Baby Inc., published a big wet kiss piece called Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what some gamers think it does. It isn't forcing diverse stories down our throats. It's not trying to push characters into stories that wouldn't otherwise be there. Oh, really? Well, that's the exact opposite of what the company's founder just admitted in front of multiple audiences on multiple occasions and on multiple podcasts. But Kotaku doesn't mention that at all. Here she is at a gaming convention in GDC telling white game developers that they should do the right thing. If you're a white dude making games, heaven forbid, your only hope is to hire consultants. Bring us in. Bring in the consultants ahead of time. Make sure you're not being too white and not being too racist.
And if you're in development and you are part of like that dominant voice, you're like a cis hetero white dude or just adjacent to that, do not wait until the end to call your consultants. Bring them in at the beginning, and instead of asking them, hey, is this very racist thing we did very racist? Or is this deeply offensive thing we did deeply offensive? Are you hurt by it? Ask them what they want to see. Like, ask them what would thrill them, what would bring them joy. And if you have a team lead, put that request to them very, very early.
Her name is Kim Belair, and she goes on to say, like, if you're a team leader and people don't want to hire consultants like me, then you need to threaten them. Take your marketing director out for coffee, scare them with what might happen if you have too many white people in your video game.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
So I guess the threat is that your ESG money will dry up from your liberal donors, so you better add in some diversity right now ASAP. If you do that, then everything will be better and people will buy your video games. Okay, so let's role play. Sweet Baby Inc., can I help you? Hello, hi. Yeah, we made a video game about how our border is being overrun with illegal immigrants, and you play the role of a border patrol guard trying to stop it all. Can you help us with our video game? Well, first of all, that's incredibly racist. Don't make a video game like that. Okay, but let's say I do want to make a game like that. It's a game about invasions, and thousands of video games about invasions are made all the time, right? From Civilization to World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Halo. So I want to make a video game about the US border invasion, 10 million illegal aliens, and I want our hero to be a white mustache wearing, border guard that has had enough of his country being destroyed. Can you help me make a video game like that? And can you help me make it more woke? Okay. Well, first of all, make the invaders white instead of Chinese and Hispanic. That's a good start. And then let's make the border guard Hispanic instead of white. No. Better yet, make the border guard trans. No. Actually, scrap the whole idea. Instead, why don't you make a game in Africa where white colonialists are invading and you have to hold them off with spears? Yeah. Great idea. Do that. Make that game instead. That's a great idea. Thanks, Sweet Baby Inc. You're the best. Of course, the backlash against Sweet Baby Inc. exploded like Dylan Mulvaney shaking up a Bud Light can.
Cheers.
And the Biden administration is there to help. A nonprofit called Take This, which is funded by the Department of Homeland Security, is now springing into action to stop any criticism of Sweet Baby Inc. You can't make this up. Seriously, your tax dollars being used by the Department of Homeland Security to protect a Canadian woke video game narrative company from what? From harassment? From attacks? From outrage? The nonprofit is now calling on journalists and media figures and people in the video game industry to say that this is harassment against Sweet Baby Inc. And you should speak up about it. Why? All because a Steam group published a list of the games that they worked on, games that are listed on their own website? That's harassment? Well, of course, the lapdog liberal media sprang right into action with headlines defending this. From Wired magazine, the small company at the center of Gamergate 2.0, Montreal Bay, Sweet Baby, employs just 16 people, and now they find themselves the target of gaming's latest harassment campaign. Yeah, they're so small, they're just 16 people. Leave them alone. And then this one from Yahoo News says a company called Sweet Baby Inc. has become the target of anti-woke gamers because it offers consultancy work. Oh, that's it. That's all. Just consultancy work. And then, of course, we already showed you this from Kotaku. Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what some gamers thinks it does. But again, Kotaku is lying here because the CEO's mission is to get white dudes to play video games that are filled with non-white dudes. Play as a transgender person or play as a black dude. Step into their shoes, she said.
And I don't think it's like pie in the sky thinking to go like, hey, maybe we can invite white dudes to play as other people and experience different things through someone else's eyes. And if they don't like it, we have to start thinking we're not losing, they're losing, and we're losing because we're going to let them stand in the way of our progress and our innovation.
Oh, so I can't just play video games. I need to be preached to. I need to be lectured to. Okay, so it's not about playing a character that's not my skin color, though. I do that all the time, whether it's playing Miles Morales, where you play as a black Spider-Man, which is a fantastic game, by the way, or Ghost of Tsushima, play as a Japanese samurai, or Mario as an Italian plumber. Let's go. Or my favorite series of all time, Metroid, where you play as a white woman named Samus. Yes, I said that. Samus is a white woman and is arguably my favorite video game series. It's also the first video game I ever beat, Metroid. So it's not about that. What you're doing is telling kids it's not okay to be a strong white protagonist anymore. You should be ashamed of your whiteness. It's about inventing new genders and forcing it down kids' throats. It's about rewriting history and sticking in diversity characters where they don't belong. You want a feminine-looking strong woman? Sorry, Lara Croft, this isn't the 1990s. Today's women have a penis and purple hair. We don't need you to force your diversity and inclusiveness agenda into video games. Hollywood learned this lesson the hard way. It destroyed their industry. No one is going to see woke movies anymore. No one. They're going to see movies that aren't woke, like Godzilla and Dune 2, which has none of that propaganda in it. And they're avoiding movies like The Marvels and Madam Web and Pixar films lately that have been filled with all of this propaganda. I never thought I'd live long enough to hear that Pixar and Marvel films are bombing at the box office, like the home of the Avengers and Toy Story. Yeah, it's for a simple reason. Woke propaganda. Who wants to see an emasculated Indiana Jones looking fat and drunk, being led around the world by an insufferable, obnoxious woman who is supposed to replace him? She's an idiot, and he's Indiana Jones. He's a strong white man. Remember him from the 80s? Let him be that strong white man we know and love. But in 2024, you're not allowed to be masculine or feminine. We have to believe there are no differences between genders at all. And you certainly can't be a strong white man in Hollywood, otherwise they'll humiliate you in front of millions of people like they did at the Oscars. They'll probably come after Lara Croft next as a strong, beautiful white female. Let's turn her into a disabled black woman in a wheelchair who can only access crypts and tombs that have ramps and handrails. We have to be inclusive, after all. How dare she climb a wall? Not everyone can climb walls, you know. But this is what it's come to. So let wokeness destroy Hollywood. Let it crash and burn. You already destroyed Star Wars and Indiana Jones and the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Dungeons and Dragons. Please stop what you're doing and don't destroy Metroid and Xenoblade and Dragon Quest. We don't need you to destroy video games as well, but that's exactly what's happening. Drop me a comment below, and we'll see you next time, everyone.